Okay, let's really unpack this. Looking at the past week, June 7th to the 12th, 2025, the source material you shared, it describes the AI funding scene as, well, not just making waves, it calls it a tsunami of cash.
Yeah, tsunami feels about right,
Mhm.
maybe even a bit mild.
Right.
It's just this massive flood of capital. And investors, they seem to be making these incredibly bold bets, like right now, on where AI is headed.
And it's not just one thing either.
No, exactly. That's what's so striking. It's across such diverse applications. Really diverse.
Okay, so that's our mission for this deep dive then. Take all the source material and figure out what this huge influx of money actually means. We want to pull out the really important deals because honestly, some of these numbers are, well, they're kind of mind-blowing.
They definitely are.
And maybe a small spoiler here, but there's one headline deal. It's just colossal, like the biggest we've seen in a really long time. We're talking over $10 billion
Yeah.
for one company.
It really puts the scale of this moment into perspective, doesn't it?
Scale. Haha, nice. Because that actually leads us right into the big one. The absolute headline from the source material, Scale AI.
Yep, scale AI.
And the number. It's just staggering. The source is clear. Over $10 million. $10 billion plus.
It's the kind of number that makes you do a double take. Over 10 billion confirmed June 12th. And the investor,
Who is it?
Meta.
Meta. Wow. Okay, so for someone maybe not totally immersed in AI, what does Scale AI actually do? Why would Meta put that much cash into them? The source mentions critical data infrastructure.
Right. Think of them as absolutely foundational. You need them to build these really powerful AI models we keep hearing about.
Okay.
The source uses a really good analogy, actually. It's called Scale AI, supplying the ultra-high-quality textbooks for AIs to study.
Ah, okay. Textbooks for AI. I like that.
Because training these complex AIs, it's not just about dumping raw data on them. They need huge amounts of data that's been carefully labeled, structured, basically prepped for learning. And Scale AI, they specialize in providing exactly that meticulous data, but at a massive scale.
Right. So the AI is the student, and Scale AI provides the top-tier curriculum. Makes sense. And this funding, this astronomical amount from Meta, what's the goal? What does the source say?
Well, it seems kind of twofold, according to the source. First, pretty straightforward. Build out that core data infrastructure even more. Bigger, better, faster. But the second part, this is really interesting. The source says the funding is specifically aimed at tackling the grand challenge of creating superintelligence.
Superintelligence.
Yeah. So Meta putting over $10 billion into a data company and explicitly linking it to chasing superintelligence.
Yeah.
That signals something huge, a really serious long-term play.
It kind of positions Scale AI as what? The central hub for next-gen AI?
Possibly, yeah, like the central nervous system, maybe. Not just for Meta, but potentially for the whole ecosystem. It suggests Meta sees control, or at least significant access to this data layer as absolutely crucial for making those big AI breakthroughs.
Okay, wow. So that's the headline deal. But the source material, it was really clear this past week wasn't just about that one massive check. It was more like a flood, right?
Yeah.
Across all sorts of different areas.
Exactly. It wasn't only about building the biggest models or this theoretical superintelligence quest. Money flowed into applications touching almost, well, everything, the whole economy, even our daily lives.
Yeah, like you said before, from teaching AI about human organs for drug discovery,
Right.
all the way to building like actual robot construction helpers.
It really shows AI isn't just one single thing anymore,
Definitely not.
It's this core capability, this technology being applied everywhere, solving very specific, often high-value problems.
Okay, so let's shift gears then. Move away from the headline grabber and highlight some of these other big deals from the source material, just to give you, the listener, a feel for where else this tsunami of cash landed this past week.
Agreed. That diversity is key to understanding the whole picture.
All right, first up from the other big rounds in the source, Cyera. They raised $540 million on June 11th. The source calls them an AI data security platform. What's that actually mean?
So think about it. Companies are using and generating way more data now, especially for AI. But that data, it becomes a massive target.
Right. More data, more risk.
Exactly. So Cyera uses AI to automatically find, classify, and then protect sensitive data, wherever it might be, living cloud, on-prem, in different apps, doesn't matter.
So it's like that super smart security guard the source mentioned, but for all your digital stuff.
Pretty much, yeah. A very apt description. In a world where data breaches are getting more common and costly,
Mm.
and AI itself needs these huge data sets.
Mm-hmm.
Having an AI that constantly watches and protects your data assets, that's incredibly valuable. And the source notes, this was a Series E round. The
Oh.
goal, global expansion.
Okay. So investors clearly see this data security problem as massive and global.
Seems like it. They're betting Cyera's AI approach is the way to tackle it worldwide.
Makes sense. Data's the new oil. Gotta protect the refinery. Okay, next. Multiverse Computing. They got $215 million June 12th. This one sounds a bit sci-fi, quantum-inspired AI.
It does, right? So it sounds like it belongs in a physics lab.
Yeah.
But the source explains it pretty well.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily building, full quantum computers just yet. Those are still mostly experimental.
Okay.
Instead, they're taking ideas and algorithms from quantum physics stuff like superposition, entanglement, and using those concepts to make classical computers, the ones we use now, much better at certain AI tasks.
Ah, okay. So quantum thinking for today's computers to boost AI.
Exactly. And one specific thing the source highlighted is something they call compactive AI. It's all about model compression.
Compressing models,
Yeah.
meaning making them smaller.
Yep. See, these big AI models can be absolutely enormous. They need huge amounts of computing power. Multiverse is working on ways to shrink them down, make them way more efficient, but crucially, without losing too much of their performance.
Oh, okay. So the big deal there is maybe powerful AI could run on smaller devices, like eventually on my phone, or out in the world on edge devices, not just in some giant data center.
Precisely. That's the potential game changer. That Series B funding. It's about pushing that efficiency boundary. Investors seem to believe there's a big future in getting powerful AI off the cloud and closer to where things are actually happening. And that needs smaller models.
Huh. AI on my phone that doesn't drain the battery in 5 minutes. Yeah, I could get behind that. Okay, what about Glean? $150 million, Juneteenth. Enterprise AI search. Now, this feels like a universal problem, finding stuff inside a company.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone's felt that pain, right? It's trying to find that one document or the one message lost somewhere in 50 different internal apps or shared drives.
Tell me about it.
That's exactly what Glean tackles. The source calls their AI a brilliant digital librarian for businesses.
Man, I need one of those yesterday.
Right. It uses AI to understand all that scattered information, docs, emails, chats, you name it, and makes it instantly searchable for employees.
Okay, and the source mentioned some pretty big numbers supporting this investment.
Yeah, really impressive metrics.
Yeah.
A $7.2 billion valuation, and they're already doing over $100 million in annual recurring revenue. ARR.
Wow, over $100 million ARR already. Okay, so they've definitely found a major pain point. Businesses are clearly willing to pay serious money to solve this internal search mess.
That seemed to be the bet, yeah. Boosting productivity through smarter search. This funding round, the Series F, shows massive confidence in their existing success and their potential to grow much bigger.
Makes sense. Okay, let's switch back to security for a sec. Horizon3.ai, they raised $100 million on June 11th. Focus. Autonomous AI cybersecurity. The source says they use AI to think like hackers. That sounds interesting, maybe a little scary.
It does sound a bit edgy, I know, but the idea is actually quite proactive. Instead of just putting up defenses and hoping for the best, their platform, it's called Node Zero, basically uses AI to constantly, automatically test a company's own defenses. It acts like an automated ethical hacker.
Like a friendly hacker constantly probing your systems.
Exactly. It tries different attack methods, looks for weak spots, just like a real attacker would,
Yeah.
but obviously without causing damage.
So it finds the holes before the actual bad guys do.
That's the goal. It gives the security team this continuous, always-on view of where they're vulnerable, where the most critical risks are. This Series D investment suggests investors really see the value in this AI-driven, proactive testing compared to, say, older, more manual methods. It's about trying to stay ahead.
Smart. Yeah, finding the problem before it becomes a problem. Okay, huge gear shift now. Wandercraft. $75 million, June 11th. AI-powered robotics and exoskeletons. The source literally says straight out of a sci-fi movie.
It really does sound like it, yeah.
Yeah.
They build these wearable robotic suits, exoskeletons, but not like for super soldiers or factory workers like you might imagine.
Oh.
These are specifically designed to help people with mobility challenges, people who might otherwise use a wheelchair to help them walk again.
Whoa. Seriously, that's
All right.
incredible. Where does the AI fit in? Is it just fancy mechanics?
Oh no, the AI is absolutely crucial. It's the brain, really. It has to interpret subtle cues from the person wearing it, understand the environment through sensors, and then translate all that into smooth, stable, natural walking movements for the suit.
So it makes it feel intuitive, like part of their body.
Exactly. That's the aim, making it feel like an extension of themselves. This Series G funding is huge for them. It's about scaling up production, getting regulatory approvals, and actually getting these devices out to the clinics and people who need them. It's
Yeah.
AI having a really profound, direct human impact.
Wow. Okay, the range of applications this week is just nuts, from data plumbing to helping people walk. And then you have companies like Pactum,
Mhm.
$54 million, June 9th. Their thing is agentic AI in enterprise procurement. Help me decode that. AI negotiating contract.
Yep, that's basically it. Pactum creates AI agents that are specifically designed to handle negotiations, usually with suppliers, on things like, contract terms, pricing, delivery times, that kind of stuff.
Wait, seriously, the AI agents are just talking to the suppliers autonomously.
That's the idea. The source highlights how these AI agents can handle a lot of the more routine, high-volume negotiations automatically, which then frees up the human procurement teams to focus on the bigger, more strategic, complex deals.
And the benefit is?
Yeah.
Savings, efficiency.
Both, apparently. Significant cost savings and saving a lot of human hours. This Series C funding is about expanding the kinds of negotiations their AI can tackle and signing up more big companies.
Huh. AI potentially getting better deals than people. That's kind of wild.
Okay.
Okay, what about AIM? $50 million, June 11th. Embodied AI for earth-moving machinery. What's embodied AI?
So we usually think of AI as software, right? Running in the cloud or on a computer.
Yeah.
Embodied AI is about giving that intelligence to actual physical machines, giving them a body, sensors so they can perceive the physical world, and then act intelligently within it.
Okay, got it.
In AIM's case, they're building the AI brains for heavy machinery. Think excavators, bulldozers, big dump trucks, the stuff used in construction, mining, big infrastructure projects.
Ah, okay. So making those massive, potentially dangerous machines autonomous and smart.
Precisely. The big goals are improving safety on job sites, which can be really dangerous,
Mhm.
and also boosting efficiency and precision dramatically. The source mentions Khosla Ventures as one of the investors in this venture round. That's a big name signaling strong belief in AI getting baked right into heavy physical gear.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense for those industries. Safety and precision are paramount.
Yeah.
Okay, and Parallel Bio, $21 million, June 12th. Human-first AI drug discovery. How is AI helping find new medicines here?
Their approach, which the source calls human first, sounds really innovative. They combine AI with something called an advanced organoid platform.
Organoids.
Yeah, basically miniature, simplified versions of human organs, like tiny livers, tiny lungs, grown in a lab from human cells.
Mini organs. Wow, okay. That's not bad.
Right. So instead of just testing potential drugs on animals or standard cell cultures, which often don't predict human reactions very well, they test them on these human organoids. Then their AI analyzes the huge amount of data coming off these tests. The goal is to predict how a drug will likely work in actual humans. Will it be effective? Will it be toxic? But much faster and hopefully more accurately than the old methods.
Okay, that could massively speed up drug discovery, right? Which is notoriously slow and expensive.
Exactly. That's the hope. This Series A funding helps them scale up both the organoid platform and their AI analysis capabilities. It's using AI plus these advanced biological models to tackle a huge challenge in healthcare.
Taking AI beyond just code into the biological world.
Yep. Accelerating real scientific discovery.
And just to quickly mention a couple more from the source, really driving home how broad this was, TasteWise also got $50 million, June 11th. They use Gen AI analyzing tons of data to predict food and beverage trends.
Helping companies figure out what we'll all want to eat and drink next, basically.
Yeah. And then there's the plug-and-play AI fund itself. They raised $50 million on June 10th. Now, that's not money for an AI company. That's new money raised by a VC firm specifically to invest in future AI and fintech startups.
Right. That shows the appetite isn't just for current deals, but raising completely new war chests just for future AI investments.
It's like we need more chips just for the AI table. And we also saw, finally, $30 million on June 9th for legal AI contract review, helping lawyers wade through complex documents faster.
And Antimetal, $20 million on June 12th. They use AI to optimize cloud spending, basically helping companies save money on their massive cloud bills.
So you see, it really is hitting everywhere. Food trends, venture capital itself, legal tech, even just basic IT cost saving. It's not just a few flashy areas anymore.
No, the money is spreading out across the whole economy. It's an incredibly broad brushstroke, absolutely.
Okay, so let's try and pull this all together. Synthesize this whole wave of funding from just this 1 week, June 7th to 12th. Based on the source material, what are the big patterns that really jump out?
Well, the first one is just unavoidable, right? The sheer scale of the money. We kicked off with Scale AI's $10 billion plus deal.
Mm-hmm.
But then you stack on all those other rounds, hundreds of millions, tens of millions across so many different companies. It wasn't just one or two giants. It was high volume of really significant investments. It doesn't feel like cautious testing. It feels like a full-on investment rush.
Yeah, less dipping a toe, more diving in head first.
Yeah.
And the types of applications getting funded.
Like we saw, just astonishingly diverse. Money's going into the absolute foundations, like scale AI's data infrastructure, which you need to build the best models.
Right.
But crucially, money's also pouring into fixing the problems AI creates, especially around security. Securing the data itself with Cyera and using AI to do cybersecurity better with Horizon 3.AI, that tells you investors see security as totally critical as AI spreads. It needs investment now.
So it's not just building the cool AI stuff, but also building the guardrails around it.
Exactly. And then there's that huge push for enterprise efficiency. All those investments in AI search, automated negotiation, legal review, cloud cost cutting. That's all about making businesses run faster, cheaper, smarter, tackling very real, everyday business headaches. It shows AI isn't just in the lab anymore. It's moving into core operations.
And then those really cutting-edge applications we talked about, the physical world stuff like robotics and embodied AI, and the biological stuff like drug discovery.
Right. Those show investors aren't only focused on software or business tools. They're betting on AI fundamentally changing physical industries like construction, mining, and also speeding up science in areas like medicine. It shows this confidence that AI can handle the complex, messy, real world.
So if you boil it down, the pattern isn't just investors like AI. It's more like they see AI as this foundational capability that needs its own infrastructure, needs strong security, can massively improve how businesses already work, and is ready to tackle really complex physical and scientific challenges. It's getting woven into everything.
Precisely. The investment patterns suggest a strong belief that AI is fast becoming a kind of utility layer across the whole economy.
Okay. So, wrapping up then. This 1 week, June 7th to 12th, 2025, it really was an unprecedented surge in AI funding. It feels less like a trend and more like, well, like the financial markets strongly agreeing that AI is set to reshape, well, pretty much everything, and maybe faster than we thought.
The money is definitely talking, and it's saying AI's impact is expected to be massive and widespread.
So here's the final thought for you, our listener, to chew on, and this is based purely on what we saw in the source material from this single week. When you look at the sheer amount of money spearheaded by that huge meta-investment aiming, potentially, at superintelligence infrastructure, and then you look at the incredible variety of things being funded, AI negotiating deals, robots helping people walk, AI predicting food trends, AI speeding up medicine discovery, what does this level of intense financial commitment across such a huge range of applications really tell us about how quickly the world's big players actually expect AI to fundamentally change our reality?